Hello, the troopers, and welcome back to General Kenobi's Bunker. Thank you so much for joining me here on another episode of The High Ground. How is everybody doing on this fine Wednesday night? I hope that this first half of the week has been awesome for you. And if not, hey, we're that much closer to the weekend, right? So stay strong, stay positive. It's almost Friday. So, once again, thank you so much for joining me here. And guys, I'm so excited today because we are finally getting back to having some awesome guests here from the community, highlighting some cool stuff that people do around here. And I'm very happy to finally have another guest. It's been a little while, we took it solo for a few shows, but I felt it was kind of a good time to get back to it. And I could not think of a better person to help me re re-engage this section where we have some awesome creators here in the show than our guests tonight. But before we get to that, all right, I know I gotta make it wait a little bit, all right? And a little bit of housekeeping. So I finally started filming the room tour here for the bunker. I put up a poll on the YouTube community tab last week, and I basically asked you guys, hey, what do you really want to see? All right. I want to do a room tour because, as you know, there's a new bunker coming up. So I got to start packing up some of this stuff. But before I do that, I wanted to do the tour and film it. But I decided to ask you guys, what do you really want to see? And the options were basically the real bunker, right? With some mess that's, usually around every day. Do you want me to tidy up a little bit, make it presentable, make it, video worth it? Do you not want to see it at all? So the winner was the I guess the real bunker, and it was good. It was a good poll, and that's the way we are gonna do it. I started filming it. I'm hoping to get it done by this weekend. No promises because I am running around with the new house and all that. So hopefully, that's gonna be coming up here pretty soon. But um, one other little bit of piece of news that we talked about on the last live stream. It seems that the Hasbro reissue of some of the most popular Star Wars Black Series items is true. If you guys have been keeping up with that new bit of news, Nerdzoic just dropped a new video last night, I believe, basically confirming. Now it's not just Star Wars. There's a lot of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Year 1 and Year 2 items. And if you guys want to check that out and make sure uh, to tune in to the Legacy of Nerd, he did a video on that a couple days ago, also announcing what items they're going to be more than likely re-releasing. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, I think pre-orders are going to go up pretty soon here within this week with an expected delivery date of the fall of this year, which I think is very, very fast as things have been going with Hasbro. So, my advice to anybody that's gonna place an order for those reissues is place the order with stores that you have bought from before, right? Entertainment Nerd, Big Bad Toyser, Nerdzoic, all of those guys that are usually good on pre-orders, because I'm still a little bit afraid that Hasbro is not gonna come through. So at least those guys have a solid, policy for refunding you guys. So that's just my bit of advice. I still don't know who I'm gonna order from. I don't know if Hasbro Pulse directly is gonna be putting up some of these items for pre-order. If they do, I might go that route. But yeah, we'll see. So more on that as it develops. But all right, I've talked enough, way more than enough for our guest. Has been patiently waiting. So our guest tonight was he wasn't happy with the way things were looking on the Star Wars prop scene, and he was like, you know what, I can do better. I can do a lot better. So I'm just gonna make my own stuff and make it that much awesome. And he did. All right. So this dude is absolutely talented, great guy, and the stuff that he has been creating, is amazing. All right. So can't wait to show you guys. I'm so glad that he decided to join us here. So we have the one, the only, the awesome name, by the way, Rex Henry from Millennium Workshop. Welcome, brother. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Hey everyone. Hey, thank you so much for inviting me on, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, and I hear you. Look, I'll tell you what. Let's start from the beginning. All right. Let's. I think I get a hint that you like Star Wars, right? I pick up on subtle things like that.
Just a little
So
bit.
exactly. Did I lose you? Sorry.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So let's take it back to the beginning. Could you tell us when what was the first time you watched Star Wars?
First time I watched it would have been A New Hope, and I would have been real little. I mean, we watched it on VHS. I can remember my
Nice.
parents, they had all three movies, but like no one in my house, like my parents or anything, were like hardcore fans or anything. It was just like my dad
Gotcha.
collected movies more so than anything.
Nice.
And so I can remember like A New Hope was my first Star Wars that I watched, but like what really captured me into it at first would have been like the prequels because of my age. You know, I'm 32
Yes.
years old. The prequels were huge for me. That
Same here.
and I absolutely love Jar Jar Binks. So all you Jar Jar Binks haters out there, I thought he was absolutely hilarious, but I was a little kid at the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's I think that's you bring up a good point, right? A lot of people don't realize that he was a hit, with the intended audience, right? Which like
Yeah,
you said, was us, was the kids. Um so yeah, I the way I look at it now is the prequels have gained a lot of love um once people started watching the sequels, right?
yep,
I think that
big
that
time.
shifted. Yeah, that shifted the perception, right, of the prequels. So very very cool. A man after my own heart. I'm a prequel kid myself, so I am super excited about 2025. For the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. That's probably my favorite prequel of all of them. Um,
Same.
so yeah, I'm super excited what they got in store for us. But tell you what, let me catch up here with the chat real quick. So we got Daniel from the Legacy of Nerd. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you joining, man. Chris, what's up, man? We got Brett from Collecting with Cool saying, checking in from the Cubs game. I'll catch the replay. Hey, appreciate you, man.
I'm
Thank
a
you. And
I'm a
yeah,
I'm a hardcore Cubbies fan, so I
oh, there
appreciate
you
that.
go. Yeah,
That's
so our guests will not fault you for not tuning in live. So don't worry about that, brother. Have fun out there. We got Evan from Spice Runners
Hey
Lounge.
Evan.
Hello there. We also, from the Spice Runners Lounge family, we got Jeff from Star Wars Addict 77
What's up, Jeff?
saying, hello there, General and Millennium Workshop. What's up, Jeff?
Oh, he's leaving. I
Uh,
said Jar Jar.
oh, there you go. And we lost one. Hey Juan, how's it going, brother? Thank you so much for joining, man. Thank you. I remember going to the cinema with General to see the prequels. Yeah, man. So that's my cousin. He was, he's younger than I am, so he was very much also in the I guess the targeted demographic, for what Jar Jar was meant to be. But that's awesome, man. So kudos to your dad for first of all for collecting movies. That's very very cool. Second of all, for showing you guys the now, did you guys do like trilogies? Like did you sit down and
Oh, yeah. My dad would buy every single movie for every trailer or for every trilogy. I mean, literally like the most random stuff too, but like some of your cult classics,
yes,
and it was great. Now
that's
it's like
awesome.
I don't even know what a DVD is anymore. Everything's digital.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Which comes with its own how do you call it? I guess with its pros and cons, right? Like everything else. Pros, you got it right there, right? In the tip of your fingers, and you got an insane library. Cons, you are kind of subjected to whatever version is available, right? Like the official streaming. So I still think it's I understand why it's happening. I just still think it's sad that we don't have access to the original cut of the original trilogy, right? Like on demand. But anyway, a lot of stuff, right, happening there on the background of why it wasn't released, why the rights, all of that stuff. But yeah, I hear you. Like I said, I don't get me wrong, I enjoy streaming as much as the next guy. Again, very convenient, but there was something about the physical media and opening it up and taking a look at the booklet that it came with, and all that stuff. So very very cool. Now, as a kid, were you did you stay interested in Star Wars, or was it one of many movies in the rotation at the household?
So like yes and no. Like I always kind of kept up with it, but like I kind of like phased out of it at one point because like
Sure.
sports was way more important than
Yeah.
anything. I played three sports in high school,
Wow.
middle
Nice.
school. I was a pole vaulter for my track team, so like I did all the crazy sports,
Yeah.
and so it just kind of I really didn't have many hobbies other than like drawing and painting. Like
Sure.
was big into art. I was going to go to art school, but decided to
Oh,
go
nice.
to go to college and become a police officer because I was a firefighter and an EMT from 16 to about 20.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
thank you.
That's
So
awesome, man. Yeah. So, yeah. So, I know that a lot of us, sort of go through that phase, right? We really got into it. It happened to me too. Like, there was a point in my life where it kind of like, I took a little pause, right, a little breather of from Star Wars, and then once it came back in my adult life, I was like, yeah, no, that's it. It's here to
I'm
stay.
sold. I'm in. I'm sold.
Yeah,
I'm in.
exactly.
I'm back.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you remember around what time, what sort of pulled you back in, into it?
Uh, so I always went like on like binges of like just shows. Like something has to be playing in the background. I can't just sit and not listen to something. And
Yeah,
I think one day I just like started watching the prequels and then just ran through the whole thing one day, and it was like that
nice.
started to ramp it up slowly. And then when we had my daughter about 5 years ago, it really hit hard. Like um, on all the different like collecting, starting to buy things, and
Nice.
I was just like a fan from a distance for a long
Sure.
time, and then I just got swooped into it, and I love every minute of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome, man. Congrats to your daughter, by the way. I saw it was her birthday not that long ago. So,
Yeah, I've kept a
uh,
human being alive for 5 years, so
hey, it
I'm
is
very
no
proud
easy
of
feat.
that.
I don't care what anybody says. It is not easy. I got a 6 year old myself. So yeah, no, I hear you. But yeah, very much so. Congratulations. So that's awesome, man. So so you would say about 5 years ago, it's when you were like, yeah, you know what, that's it. I'm all in. Now, what did you end up, or I should say, did you start to pick up, more items? Like you start actually like maybe collecting a little bit more, like in force.
Yeah, I started out with like Star Wars comic books. So
Nice,
I got some graded copies. I got some just ones that really I started out with covers. Like it was all about covers because I like to draw, I like to paint. So it was like, oh, this cover's awesome, and then
nice.
it just kind of grew. And then I started reading them all the time, and then it started going into toys, and then 3D printing, making. Because there's times where I'm like looking at like I want to buy this helmet. This helmet looks awesome, but in the back of my head, it was like I can paint, I can draw, like I can
Exactly.
do this. Like
Yeah.
I know I can. So I just one day I just tried it and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, so I gotta tell you, I'm always curious. I'm always slightly envious of people that can actually pull that off, right? People like yourself that are highly creative, and not just that, but like I'm not that it's not enough. I'm just saying not just that, but like you said, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can pull this off, right? Like, why not try it? Why not go for it? And you end up with something very very awesome, right? So kudos to you again, and that's very cool. So you've always been sort of inclined into the arts. So I guess that does give you a little bit of confidence, saying, hey, I kind of know how to do this stuff, myself.
Yeah, and
So
as I got older, I got more into like woodworking, and then it's kind of progressed
yeah,
to this. Like I didn't like buying stuff for my apartment. I didn't like buying stuff for my house. Like all these shelves
yeah,
are all made by me. Um,
nice.
my dining room table, coffee tables, like
That's awesome. That's amazing. But yeah, so I totally get that, and let me tell you, I mean, I know more people have told it, not just me, but the stuff that you make is it's freaking awesome. So I'm glad that you
Appreciate it.
decided to take that step, you know, and that plunge into making your own stuff. So at the beginning, right, like you said, you're like, you know what, I see this helmet, you know, I like it, but at the same time, you kind of get the itch to, can I do, you know, the same, if not better, right? Um, so do you remember which one it was that you're like, you know what, that's it, I'm gonna try that one?
It was the hunter helmet. That was the first helmet
Oh,
I painted. He's like one of my. Be honest with you, he's my one of my favorite clones. Like
nice.
I love the Bad Batch series.
Right.
So even season two, I liked it. I liked the story building, but I look at things a little bit differently sometimes than other people.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
that was
no,
my
that's good.
first helmet, and I freaked out the whole time. Like I screwed it up. I was messing it up. I mean, like, and I still do that to this day. Like I'll be working on something, and the whole time I'm just like, man, I messed this up. It looks like crap. And then I take a step back and like
Right.
after I weather it, I'm like, oh, actually, I like it.
Yeah,
Like, oh no, it
exactly.
looks good.
Yeah, I know we tend to be our what do they call it? Our toughest critics, right?
Oh yeah.
But no, man, I mean everything that I've seen you do ends up coming up, you know, amazing. I think we were talking about one of the dioramas that you were working on, right? Not the long ago. And I was like, dude, like I like this blast, you know, this blast mark, and you're like, oh yeah, that was a little bit of a that was a little bit of an airbrush, you know, extra, but it ended up working out just fine, right? So I was like, well, dude, it looks great. I mean, nobody could tell that it wasn't necessarily meant to be,
Yeah,
right,
it was.
on
I
it.
was I was literally airbrushing. I went to like put my airbrush down, and I just like I got distracted with my daughter because she like comes in and she'll stand between my legs and like hold the
Right.
airbrush, and
Yeah.
I'll guide her. And I kind of just like turned, and I think I was saying something. And I just pulled back and sprayed right there, and I was like, no. And I paper towel, and then I kind of
Yes.
pushed it in, and it just turned out looking cool. So
Yeah, yeah, it totally did. It totally did. Let me see here on the chat. Here, we got Juan saying Darth Jar Jar. Hey, man, that's still a theory out there. Who knows?
I love good conspiracy theories, and
Yeah,
I am sold on that one.
yeah,
He led them down the path to Anakin becoming Darth Vader. Like I feel
yeah.
that.
Hey, no, like I said, the more and more I read about it, the more and more it makes sense. So it might have started off as a joke, you know, like 10 years ago or whatever. But now I don't know, man. I hear you.
But he ended with
Jeff
so much
says,
power at the end.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Very true. Jeff says, still need to grab a Millennium Workshop t-shirt. Ooh, there you go.
They are on Teespring.
There you go. Awesome. Jeff says, like, General always supporting the community, so thank you. Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Thank you. You guys have always been very good, kind and very good to me. I always appreciate you guys stopping by here on the lives. Also, we got the man collects. Good evening, everyone. What is up, brother? So, guys, if you enjoy toy hunting, the man collects basically does not sleep, and he puts out like 8 toy hunting videos a day. So definitely go check him out. This man is prolific. Okay. Uh, so if you want to keep your ear to the ground of what's out there in stores, definitely got to go check out The Man Collects. Our friend Daniel from Legacy of Nerd says, everybody hit that like button. Yes, guys, so we'd appreciate it if you hit the like button here on this stream to show YouTube that you guys are actually enjoying this. So I appreciate it. We got OBP Kenobi Relics. What is up, brother? Thank you so much for being here, man. Appreciate you. So guys, definitely keep up with OBP Kenobi on Instagram. My man is finger to the pulse when it comes to Star Wars figures. All right, so a lot of the stuff that I was talking about at the beginning of the show with the reissues, he was on top of it. So definitely, go check him out. So we got Jeff saying, "Can you post the link?" I think you just did, right? There we go.
Yes.
So that's the link, guys, that you see here on the screen. Millennium Workshop at Creator Spring. So definitely go check it out for some awesome merch. And I'll tell you what, let's pull it up here, and we can show people what we are talking about.
Yeah, eventually I want to like do some like big time like art pieces and put them on shirts and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, you have. you have that creator, what to call it, spirit, I guess. And so I'm sure that anything that you put out there is going to be, oh, did I misspell it? That's my bad. I think it's on your Instagram as well, right? Yes, it's right here.
Yeah.
So let me just copy that. I don't know what I. Yeah, here we go. So check this out, guys. So this is the store for Millennium Workshop, and we got some merch over here. Jeff, I'm just gonna go ahead right out and say it. You're gonna look great on this one. So you
Let's
need to
show off
buy that
those
one.
guns.
Yeah, exactly. You know how we love to see that, Jeff. So pick yourself one of those for sure. So we got shirts, we got hat, we got hoodie, we got stickers also. So definitely go check it out, guys. The address is right here on the screen, and it's also right there on the chat if you just want to copy and paste it. So I want to show off a little bit of your Instagram here because there's a lot of cool stuff. All right. So in case you guys don't know, my man Millennium Workshop has a really cool Instagram and also a YouTube channel. All right. And I'll tell you what, we'll copy this link right here into the chat. So if you are not following him for whatever reason, you guys can just click on this link here in the chat and go give him a follow. So I guess I'll start with the latest and a little bit of the greatest, I guess. But so Rex worked on this beauty right here. This thing looks amazing, dude. I This looks like it was, it was done exactly for this, right? Like it's a perfect match with the hot toys. Um, so very very cool. Let me see. I think you posted an actual picture. Yes, here we go. So look at that, guys. Come on, and that little gif right there. That's my reaction. But yeah, dude. So you killed it with this one. I love the way. First of all, the way that you paint it, weather it. I love the finish on these guys here up the front. That just looks so freaking cool. You get the actual feeling that it is metal, right? Um, so tell us a little bit about what does creating something like this look like. Um, do you find something that you like out there? And you're like, you know what? I kind of want to try this one. Did you get a commission on this one? And roughly, like, how long did it take you to pull this one off?
Well, after printing the little guys on the front, I mean, that took like, I don't know, probably like 4 hours to print. Figuring out the dimensions, it was kind of just me guessing. Brian makes dioramas. I want to give a big thank you because he's answered a bunch of questions for me
Nice.
about making
He is great.
dioramas
Yeah.
because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it as I go.
I
Um,
don't know about that, brother. This looks amazing.
I appreciate it. But it was a lot of just guessing and just the dimensions. I mean, it just what I thought looked good. Like kind of when I
Sure.
make stuff, it's I want it like it all comes down to what looks good and how I interpret it. And I think I might want to make it a little bit thicker next go
Okay.
around. But that was just I wanted to make it. I was watching the Spice Runners Lounge or I was on Spice Runners page and Legacy Arts posted one that he
Right.
made, and
Yes.
that like I have that, and I was like, oh, I want to make that. Like
Right.
I have to,
That's
and
awesome.
so just went out and tried to figure it out.
That's so badass, man. But yeah, you got that artist eye right there because that looks perfect to me. And you mentioned Legacy Arts custom dioramas here on Instagram as well. He is actually a San Antonio resident, just like myself. So he does some amazing work as well. That Mandalorian throne that he did for for the Bo-Katan Hot Toys, that thing looks gorgeous. So he has done some amazing work also for Michael for his Dark Side Pizzeria that he's gonna open up here soon, and yeah, that does look amazing. So I wanted to show off this guy here. So this is one that we were talking about a little while ago, and gosh, look at that! It looks perfect, dude. Um, so Rex worked on this background that you see here, this I guess smaller diorama with the door and stuff. And I don't know, do we have? I guess the figure is kind of stepping on it. What we were mentioning about the blast mark that was a little bit of a happy accident, you know. um, but I love the way that you handled, the scuffing that makes it look just like, like weathered metal. I've always had this idea that that's like one of the hardest things to do when it comes to paint, when it comes to material, right? Because first of all, it's not metal, right? So you have to create first the illusion that it is metal, and then that it is, oxidized a little bit dirty, and then on this like scuff marks that it's actually showing what's underneath the paint, right, which is metal. So again, to me, that always surprises me when people actually achieve that look, because in my mind it's just so freaking hard to do, right? If it was metal, then you're like, oh yeah, you paint it and then you scratch off some of it and it shows the metal, right? But here all of this has to be planned, um, basically executed, very very well, so that it gives that feeling, that illusion, right, of being a material that it's definitely not. So I love the way that looks. How long did it take you to go through this one?
Uh, I mean, the both of them took like I would say probably 12 total work time, maybe 12 hours a piece. I mean, I
That's
was
awesome.
waiting for stuff to dry. I mean, so I
Yeah,
just walk away and start working on something else for a while. I got plenty of projects I'm working on right now.
nice. That's good. That's awesome, man. So yeah, guys, once again, if you're not following Millennium Workshop here on Instagram, make sure that you do. He posts, all a lot of his work, obviously, but take a look at this. This is one that I think you had sent me the other day. I love the way this thing looks.
Yeah,
You
I know you
guys
like
know,
fives a lot,
yeah.
so
So you guys know here that I am a sucker for ARC Troopers in general. Fives is definitely one of my favorites. I'm so glad that we're finally getting him in the Vintage Collection and the Black Series. I feel it's years overdue, to be honest. But check this guy out. So I think you had another picture over here. Oh, a little real, yeah. So look at that, guys. Look at the weathering, the details on it. Come on, that looks nuts.
I went with a little bit of a darker blue on that.
Yeah.
The guy I made it for, he's one of my good buddies up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He's actually a jeweler,
Oh,
and
nice.
when he asked me to make it, I was like, "Hey, do you want a royal blue or a little bit darker blue?" And he's like, "I never thought about going a little bit darker, but let's see what it looks like." And
Yeah.
as soon as I showed it to him, he like freaked out. He's like, "I love it." So,
Yeah, I know it looks amazing. And it's funny you say that because I was actually, when was it? Like Sunday. I was rewatching some Clone Wars episodes, specifically the Umbaran arc, with the 501st. And it's funny you mentioned that, because something that I noticed, and maybe for the first time, um, was that, for example, Rex's blue does not match, um, fives, and it doesn't match the regular troopers, right? They're not exactly the same.
they're
And
a little
I don't
bit
know
different.
why I it never, particularly stood out to me. As I was watching, I was like, huh. I even paused one of the frames and I was like, no, it is different. Like it's a little bit, different shades. So again, totally awesome that the way it looks, first of all, the way it came out, and then the paint job just sets it aside, man. It looks incredible. Um, so on this one, how much time would you say you it took for this one to get made?
There's probably 20 to 30 hours in that.
Yeah.
I've really like figure out a fast way of like speeding up the sanding process.
Mm-hmm.
So like I start out with like 80 grit with a palm sander, then I jump to 220, and then I hit it with a sand blaster,
Wow.
and that really gets it really smooth. And then I go in with
Yeah.
like Bondo, and then wet sand after that. Each step it has
Oh
to be wet
wow.
sanded.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. That's a lot of work, but man, it shows. And then oh, here's a couple more actually.
Oh,
So
that one I have right here.
oh, come on, look at that. That is amazing. So that's my man, Cody, right there. in his new paint scheme. His new Imperial paint scheme, I should say.
This
Once he
is
makes,
to be honest with you, this is my favorite paint scheme he has.
yeah, it looks amazing. Like, oh man, that is so cool.
Yeah, I do full padding and fabric line it myself, and
That's awesome, and yeah, I wasn't sold at the beginning when I first saw the trailer for the new season for Bad Batch. Um, when Cody popped in, right? I was like, I don't know. But then I saw it, like, I guess more on the episode, and like him like in it and stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of digging the gray. I'm kind of
yeah,
liking the way it looks. Like,
different
we
shades of gray on it. It really
exactly.
pops.
I think that was the key. Like they didn't do just one, uh like monochrome, uniform. Like he still has some variations like throughout the armor. So yeah, I agree. He looks really, really good. And then this guy is just so freaking cool. I love the way you have been handling the colors on this guys and the variations. Remind me, you did one based on the game as well, no?
Yeah, yeah. Jedi Survivor. My
Yes.
buddy Toy Bills, he reached out and he's like, he has like four of them from me. So
That's so awesome, man. Yeah, it looks great, dude. I love the way that, first of all, the way that the yellow pops on this one, right? But yeah, this looks amazing. And the one that I wanted to show off was, oh, this guy, the Falcon, man. When you showed me the picture of this thing, I think you were still working on it. Dude, I was like blown away. I was like, dude, did you weld like metal pieces to it? Like, what is going on here, dude? Like, the paint on this is just nuts.
well,
Look at that.
it's actually just an oil wash, to be honest with you,
Really?
and a little bit of airbrushing. But like if you get it's oil lamp oil lamp black,
Okay.
just an oil paint, and you just let it sit for a little bit, and then you slowly start wiping it off in the directions you want to go,
Right.
and it just creates that mud trail, that dirt trail that you would
Yes.
see.
Well, I guess that's a fair point because the details are kind of already there, right? In
Yep.
in the mold, it's just a matter of knowing how to bring those up, to the surface, right? So I love when people do something like this because I'm like, man, it's the same, it's the same toy or the same, ship that many of us have already, but you know, uh, with a little bit of love and treatment, like it just stands out so much more. Right? Like it completely changes the way it looks. So I always find that just fascinating how people do that. I
I'm thinking
watched more.
about I'm thinking about turning it into like wall art, like doing a diorama base, like a
Oh,
sand
really?
base, kind of
Wow.
like it's just been sitting for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like from the new sequels. So it's
Yes.
just
Yeah.
sitting there.
Yeah. Like
Thinking about doing something like that.
it's been in the muck for a little bit.
Yeah,
So, guys, yeah. Once again, guys, if you haven't figured out by now, you definitely need to go check out Millennium Workshops, Rex's Instagrams, because these pictures are just freaking gorgeous. I could
yeah.
go
This
on
is
and on
actually
about.
in my backyard, basically. Like this is
No
like
way.
3 miles away from my house.
Oh, that's awesome. That's perfect. That is very convenient too, right? But yeah, as I was gonna say, so I love the way the pictures come out. Nothing like some ambient light to highlight some of these colors. I love the way this looks. That is straight up from my childhood. That's episode one for me.
Yeah,
The paint scheme and the with the yellow. That is freaking cool, man. Love this, guys. Need to get me one of these.
oh, I got one.
There you go. Yeah, honestly, I think these guys have been some of my favorite, new troopers that have come out in a long time.
Well,
Um,
what drives me nuts is like when Hasbro releases theirs, they're so clean, and it's like
yes,
nothing in Star Wars is clean.
yep,
They're all dirty. Every trooper is dirty. They may be clean in the very first episode, but after that, they're dirty, grimy, and weathered. And
yeah, yeah. No, absolutely, you're right. So I'm looking to pick up the scout trooper that people have been finding, or having a hard time actually finding. from Hasbro, and I'm waiting. So I think I've told you this. I forget if I mentioned it before, but one of my favorite helmets like ever is the Phase One Clone Trooper, right? The ones from Episode Two. There's just something about that look that I still fall in love with. So I doubt that's to me is for some reason is the only one that I'm looking forward to have all white, clean. Maybe because that's the way we saw them the first time. In that first battle. But that one I'm waiting for. When that one comes out, yeah, it's gonna be a pre-order like right away. Um, but yeah, I mean, so very very cool stuff. Look at that! Come on, that looks amazing. So guys, once again, you definitely need to go check out Rex's Instagram here. A lot of cool stuff. Check this ribbon out.
Even my 5-year-old has full Mandalorian armor. So.
Oh, that's amazing. See that is parenting done right there. That's awesome. And also, guys, go check him out here on YouTube. I dropped the link a little while ago. It's right there on the chat. So all you got to do is click on it and check this out. So a lot of the shorts. Let me see. Oh, I like to see this one here. You know,
That's the one. That's the shore trooper I'm working on right now.
there you go. Look at that. Oh, I see the Clone Force 99 tag right there. We got the Mando sigil also. Very, very cool. So, do you always run these guys pretty much, all of them at the same time, or is it just, when you have a lot of projects? Do you always try to keep them busy? Like,
Yeah, I'm running them constantly. Like it's pretty rare. Like last week I was on vacation last week, so like part of the week they were all put up because we had a big
nice.
party for my daughter. Because my workshop is actually our dining room. So
Nice.
like I was very, my wife is very good to me and let me
That's
have
awesome.
a space that's not just the garage.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And for all those that don't know, so these 3D printers in general, they generate heat also, right? So it's not very nice that well, I'll tell you this. Here in Texas, I would not want to have them, just here in the garage. All right, it'll get up to like 200 degrees, like in there for sure. It's bad enough as it is. So yeah, very very cool, man. That's awesome. I I have a couple of friends, that like to do 3D printing as well, and their policy usually is when they pick up a new printer is like I have to, I gotta make it work. So they're like, do you need anything print? Like I don't want to see it just sitting like idling, right? Like I need to see this thing work. And
That's why I kind of jump into like, I want to like, it's hard to stay into it if you're not doing things that make you happy. So
absolutely.
like if I don't have anybody wanting anything, then I just start making stuff for me, or I'll just make something that I just had on my bucket list and I just check it off and
Nice.
then I post it and then all of a sudden someone's like, "Hey, I want that." It's like, "Okay, cool."
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly right. Like why not? It works out perfectly. So here's a little bit of the process of that Boba Fett drone that we were talking about over on Instagram. Look at that. God, that's awesome. I love that shot, man. That picture is everything.
Thanks. That's there's this like rock quarry like out in the middle. It's called Indian Mound and
Okay.
it's in Centerville, Ohio. And literally like there's a path you walk down and then it opens up and there's this like almost like a cave and you go under these rocks and there's these big boulders that are sitting in the river and I'm standing in the river
Oh
taking
yeah.
that picture.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's so perfect, dude. Like it definitely, it. Look at that. I mean, that just looks amazing.
I felt like that's the closest I can get to, his actual throne
Yeah,
room and have the actual rocks without trying to Photoshop something fake in there.
true, true, very true. Yeah, I mean, if you got it, why not, right? What go out there? Shit, I'll be out there every day. That's awesome. So let me catch up here with the chat. Jeff saying looks awesome, nice jobs. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Thank
I
you.
know that you're familiar with his work, but yeah, this man does it all, does it well. Juan saying looks amazing, great work with the weathering. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, he's
Thank you.
look at that. I mean, I keep going back to that metal finish. I don't know. There's just something about it that like totally like how can I say it? Totally convinces me that that I'm looking at a metal door, which is nuts.
You gotta try to like tell a story when you're weathering,
Right,
like I sometimes I'll be playing in my own head, like, okay, like maybe there was a battle over here, and they got someone got shot over here, and
right.
there's bounds, or stormtroopers can't shoot straight, so
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and it makes perfect sense, right? Because um, that's kind of how the way it would be, right? If it was real. So yeah, I like I said, I love that one. Um, so Martha saying hi, how you doing? What is going on, guys? Juan saying that helmet looks amazing. I think he
thank you,
meant
Juan.
all of them.
Thank you.
Tony from Star Wars said, "Hello there. What's going on, brother? Thank you so much for being here, man. Guys, if for whatever weird reason you're not following Star Wars Hit, you definitely need to be. My man, he went to an awesome con over the weekend. Got a lot of cool footage. Picked up some really nice vintage Star Wars stuff. So I think my man's going down the rabbit hole now. Greedo in a speedo. What is up, brother? Thank you so much for being here, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Juan saying, "Damn, I thought that throne was for Hatus or something." Yeah, it
It's
is
a
at that scale,
it's
right?
a 1/6 scale, yeah.
Yeah, but he made it. That's what I'm saying. Like it looks like something that you would freaking pre-order, honestly. From Hot Toys directly. OBP Kenobi says, "Great background." Yeah, like he said, he's lucky enough to have an awesome place to go shoot some awesome pictures, man. So that is perfect. Juan says, "Damn, I thought the throne." Oh, did I reread that? Tony saying, "Hands up." So, once again, guys, definitely go check out Millennium Workshop here on YouTube for awesome, awesome stuff. And his content, is just freaking gorgeous. Not just the stuff that he does, he knows how to portray it. Also, how to show it off, which is half the battle, honestly.
Oh, you
There's
should click on that Boba Fett helmet up one. Yeah,
oh
right next
this
to
guy here.
the Darth Maul. No, next to the Darth Maul
Oh,
helmet.
this guy
Yeah,
here.
that's my favorite.
Oh, no way! Look at that! Wow.
And I made that one with like really thick paint, so like when you rub your fingers over it, like you can feel every dent, scratch,
Oh,
everything on that
perfect,
one.
dude. That's amazing. Yeah, look at that. Like I said, man, it's an art really to be able to scuff it properly, to get it the paint, the touch ups, the weathering, all come together and just tell. Again, if you look at this, you're like, oh yeah, this thing is definitely made out of metal. Beskar more specifically, but you know what I'm saying. Um, so yeah, dude, this one looks amazing. I don't know if I've seen this one actually. This looks great.
Thank you.
So guys, once again, I cannot stress it enough. You need to be following this man for all his social media. So we'll be posting some of the links here as well. Actually, did I post the Instagram one? Just in case I didn't. Here you go, guys. Right there on the chat. That's the Instagram link for Millennium Workshop. Right there. So definitely go give him a follow. He has some awesome, awesome stuff. Also, excuse me, on the top on his bio is the link that we were showing off earlier for his merch site. So go check that out. Cool t-shirts, hoodie, um, hats, stickers, they all look pretty badass. So go check those out too. His YouTube, which we already mentioned, and we dropped the link here again in the chat. And guys, if you see something that you like here, on his Instagram or on his YouTube, reach out to Rex. Okay. If you guys are interested on maybe, a an arc helmet, from fives. But you're like, hey, you know what? Can we do something about that blue? Like maybe I want a little bit darker, maybe I want a little bit lighter. Can we? I don't know. Can we paint a little like lightsaber scratch, on the top or something like that? Reach out to Rex. He does take commissions. All right. So again, in I'm sure it doesn't have to be only stuff that you see here on his social media. So if you got an idea, about something that you would like to get created for you, definitely reach out to him. As you can see, guys, this man is talented. So anything that you get commission for, like it's gonna look amazing.
Yeah, I've
So
done other things too. Like there's a on my Instagram, there's a Red Hood helmet that I did for a friend of
you know what?
mine.
I saw that at
And
some
then
point.
like I've even done life size like, Yoda statues and stuff like
Oh, that's
that.
awesome. So there you have it, guys. I mean, definitely, like I said, if you guys are thinking about getting something like this done, this is your man right here because he does amazing, amazing work.
I love doing
I,
helmets. Helmets are like my favorite thing to do.
that's
Uh,
awesome. Yeah, like I mentioned the last stream that I was that I had, I picked up the I think I still have it around here. Oh, this guy. I picked up this guy, right? This
yeah.
old guy. This is before the Black Series, before anything like that, right? This is from like 12 years ago.
It
So
doesn't fit the melon though, does it?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So this is very cool. It was actually meant for adults. I think when they were actually being released. Of course, it was targeted for kids, but I feel like it's a little bit big for the average kid, right? So I was like, you guys knew what you were doing. Unfortunately, my like I mentioned before, my big old melon head won't fit in this. So if you guys are on the same boat as I am, you can always reach out to Rex, and he can help you out. Right? This he can always get a little bit extra wiggle room into those helmets. So
Here, I'll show you a droid head I'm working on right now. I just
oh,
finished
awesome!
the
Let's see it.
head. So this was actually a mess up. So one of my buddies reached out. He wanted one of the tanker droids,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and I'm colorblind. I'm red and green colorblind. So
gotcha.
it's they all start looking the same to me unless it's like
Sure.
dark or light. But this is not the right color. So he's like just paint over. I'm like no, that's
It won't.
not what I'm doing. No, not doing that. We have to
Wow.
just start over. And but it kind of now it looks like a Boba Fett droid
Yeah, it
too.
does. It looks really good. It reminds me of the droids when they were attacking Kashyyyk, on episode 3, like
Yeah,
when they had some of the camouflage. So that looks very, very cool. Oh, that's awesome. So does that made into the stand, the one shaped like the neck?
yeah, but it also goes on the life
Oh, no way.
size.
Perfect.
So I'm doing a full life size. So I think I'm just going to use this one myself because I just love the paint colors, and
Yeah, it looks great.
I might even put like paint like a mythosaur on the chest of it or something like that, just to kind of
Awesome.
do something different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. So we got a question for you from OBP Kenobi saying, I tuned in late. Did he talk about pricing for items like helmets, etc.? We have not. I don't know if that's something you want to talk about here. And if not, OBP, you can always reach out to him on over on Instagram, for example, and get some more information.
Yeah, I mean it kind of just depends on like what helmet it is and how much materials I'm going to need, and um, I they kind of start at like around like 250,
Right.
and they can kind of go up from there. But like it comes fully padded and lined, and there's fabric on the inside completely surrounding your head, so it's nice and soft. Because you know I actually wear that Boba Fett suit
Right.
to like toy shows. I get invited to Xenia, Ohio actually has one of the biggest toy shows around. If you can ever
Ooh.
go to the one in Xenia, Ohio, it's like 7 giant buildings and it's
Wow.
just huge. And the guy that puts it on, he has 2 vintage toy stores here in Xenia that are just there. His name's Rob, and it's called Route 68 Vintage Toys. And they are the greatest people you will ever meet in your life. And he had a costume contest, and I showed up in a full Mandalorian suit, and my daughter was Grogu.
Oh, that's perfect.
And he walked up to me. He's like, "We have a toy show twice a year, and I need you there. Just
Yeah.
just walk around." And I was like, "Deal. I'm
Yeah.
there."
That's badass. That's so
But like,
awesome, dude.
wearing a helmet for like 10 hours, because I'll be there 10 to 12 hours the whole
Right.
day. And if it's not comfortable and I wouldn't wear it, then I don't want to. I don't want to make that for somebody. I want them to be able to, if they want to wear it, it's going to be extremely comfortable for them.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It makes sense, right? So, just to keep things in perspective, guys, like he's saying, right? This helmets are meant to be worn. Um, if if maybe that's not like your main idea, like you just want a pure display, I'm sure Rex can also accommodate something like that. But yeah, guys. So once again, if you guys have questions, regarding maybe a commission or a specific helmet that you are interested in, definitely reach out to Rex. Again, the Instagram link is right here on the chat. So all you got to do is click on it. Send him a DM, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to talk to you guys about any questions that you might have. So OBP says, I saw you mention that helmet last video. I saw the Captain Rex one like that in my LCS, but didn't know it was an official helmet, so I passed on it. Regret on it now. Yeah, man, these are a little bit, they're getting to be almost old school, right? But
The
yeah,
vintage almost.
yeah, I
This
was gonna
close to
say
being vintage.
we're very close to them being vintage because mind you, this is 20 2010 maybe, 2011 around there. So it's getting up there, all right. It's getting up there in age. It sounds recent, but once you do the math, it's been a while. So yeah, if you come across those, man, these are pretty cool. Ricardo, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate you coming
Well,
in.
I gotta
Say,
go grab my, since you specialize in toys. I gotta go grab my holy grail toy. I
oh
gotta
wow,
show you my
yeah,
holy grail toy.
let's do it. All right, while Rex is catching up with that, let me catch up here with the chat. We got Yukon Phil. What's going on, man? It's saying, oh man, you have a great guest. What's up, Rex? Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. Rex is awesome. We've been definitely talking about him, and he's awesome. Art. I call it art because that honestly, that's really what it is. OBP says, cool. I actually had an idea for a 6 scale diorama about the last scene in Clone Wars with Ahsoka standing in front of the barrier troopers in the snow. That scene is iconic. That scene, if properly brought up, oh man, it's gonna look insane.
Yeah, once
Uh,
I get a resin printer, I am gonna be totally down to do something like that.
oh
I'm
nice,
working right now to get a secure resin printer.
gotcha. That's awesome, man. Ricardo saying popped in to say hello and drop my like. Hey man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Thanks, I appreciate that. Juan saying a Django helmet. Yeah, Django is still one of my favorite, color schemed, designs for I guess what you would call a Mandalorian helmet now. We got Robert saying, how y'all doing? What's up,
But
man? Thank
man,
you so much for coming in. Hey, Duffman Dioramas. Hello, everyone. What's up, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Saying hi to Duffman. Duffman saying hi to Rex and myself. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming
but
in.
man,
Saying hi to the Gilster as well. So, lay it on me. What is this? What is this grail that you got for us?
Darth Maul,
Oh, yes.
signed by Ray Park.
That's awesome.
So he was coming to Ohio. He was supposed to be he was coming to a comic book store in Columbus,
Okay.
and they ended up canceling because they were like selling his signature like on T-shirts, and he's like,
Oof.
"Hey, you got to give me some money for that,"
Yeah,
or so
that's
he ended up
nuts.
canceling, and I was devastated. I was like, "I have this is like the perfect piece too,"
Yes.
and I found out he was going to be in Denver, Colorado, and one of my best friends uh, lives out there. And I was like, I called him up. I was like, hey man, I know you're not a nerd for anything because he's not. He's the big hippie. Sal, if you end up watching this, I love you, buddy. Uh, I asked him. I go, hey, can you go to? I think it was like Mile High Comics, I think it is. And I go, can you spend the day and just get this? And I go, I'll pay for it. And then I bought him and his wife dinner and everything because
Nice.
she went with him, was there for like 6 hours.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
True friend right there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Yeah, no, that's so awesome. That that adds actually to the story, right? That adds to the value of the piece. So
Yep.
very very cool that you actually got it. I got to meet Ray in the 2019 Star Wars celebration in Chicago, and I don't know what it was, man, but the guy was just not there, and the line was so freaking big. I think he got hung up uh taking pictures, I guess, with the fans and stuff. And the point is that I waited for 4 or 5 hours for him to show up, and then finally the line started moving. But he's awesome. He was really cool about it, and apologized to everybody, and it was good. So
Yeah,
I
I
will
hear
say,
he's just a fantastic just person in general, and I
yeah,
just I respect it. I was like, ah, man, he was like the first time I saw Darth Maul, I was like terrified. I was like, oh
yes,
my gosh, like I was scared of him. I wasn't scared
yes,
of Darth Vader for some reason.
right.
Like the horns and everything just fascinated me. He was my favorite bad guy. That's what I used
Oh
to be like.
yeah,
He was my favorite bad guy.
no, absolutely, and Ray Park did an amazing job portraying him. He did an amazing job coming back, for that last season of Clone Wars. I absolutely adore that lightsaber battle. Um, the one with Darth Maul against Ahsoka. It's so beautiful. Like it's so nicely choreographed and everything. Um, but yeah, no, he is very cool. I think that was part of the, I wouldn't say part of the problem, just part of the why he was late to our signings, because he was like standing and talking to people, when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
So it happens, and it was cool. But I'm so glad I got to hit him. I'm so glad you got the autograph. And I will say this: that figure in particular, from the 7 inch, from the Diamond Select, I feel it's a little bit underrated. All right. I think it was one of the better ones that they put out, recently. So
Yeah,
uh,
I love the detail on it. Like it
yes,
just the paint job, in my opinion, they did a really good job on it.
yeah,
It just looks so angry, and it's like perfect.
exactly. Yes,
Yeah,
just the aggressive look, right? In contrast with the sort of like the neutral, I guess, expression on the Black Series, right, on the Hasbro.
yeah.
So I like that they went for it on that one. I have that one too. I'm thinking about opening it and putting like a little section in one of the details, just like dedicated for Maul, because like you said, it still gives me chills when I see him, rise up, the blast doors open, and he's just standing there like, oh man, yeah, getting chills just thinking about it.
Oh yeah, it's
But
awesome. Like I have an episode one graded comic, and he's on the cover of
nice,
it, and it is just
yes,
just a headshot, and it is just beautiful. It's like a 9.8, and I was just like,
dang,
thank you, I had to
yeah.
have it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, man. Like I said, I feel that there's been definitely a shift in the acceptance, let's call it, of the prequels, right? I always loved them. I mean, I never had to like how do you call it, like justify my love for them, because that was my Star Wars, right? Like that was the Star Wars that was coming out in theaters, the toy aisles, all of that stuff. So I was right there for it, as I'm sure you were too. So I'm just glad that to finally see them get the love that I feel they always deserved. So is there anything that you are still collecting right now when it comes to Star Wars? Do you have a specific line, if or just something that you like you'll pick up?
I'm slowly getting into hot toys because I think it's because I'm starting to get into like making dioramas, and
Right.
and not having a resin printer, I can't do like anything smaller. I mean, I can, but it's like it takes forever to sand little pieces, and
Yes.
it's more annoying. Like the little pieces for the throne base. I mean, and, it's just more annoying than anything. But I mean, getting it smooth wasn't hard. It just took a little bit longer. If
Right.
I resin printed it, I just have to paint it then.
True. Very true.
So doing like that, like the little helmets, and
Yes.
doing a diorama like that would be just awesome, and I would love to do it, but I just have to get that resin printer first.
Nice. 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 Very, very cool. Uh yeah, I've been good ish with the hot toys. I only own two. and I struggle like every time they put out a release. I'm like, I really want it, but I can't go down that rabbit hole. Not yet, anyway. So, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just a matter of time, honestly.
Yeah, I got two Book of Bobas, and
Nice.
I got the original figure,
Yes,
and I was so pumped. I was like, "Yep, this is the one. I love it." And then like a couple months later, Boba on the Throne
on
comes
the
out for
throne.
pre-order, and I was like,
Yes.
"Oh God, now I'm gonna have two." So
Yep.
they're just in different rooms of the house, you know. So it's
There you go. Smart. The one that I was like this close, I actually had it in the cart, and I it took everything I had not to order it. Was the Darth Maul from Clone Wars in the sarcophagus, the
yeah,
Mandalorian sarcophagus where they put him in. Dude, I love that thing. I don't know what it is about like the iconography that it has. Like I just love the way that thing looks. And when they showed it that it was coming with the Hot Toys, right, I was like, oh my lord, like that's it. I need it. But I, like I said, I managed to talk myself off the ledge and not I didn't get it. But I, if somebody's selling just that sarcophagus thing, I would buy that, honestly. Like I just love the way that thing looks.
I could probably print it.
There you go. Hey,
It looks.
there you go. Smart man. Yeah, absolutely. Let me catch up here with the chat before we leave. I just noticed we're past the 1 hour mark. That's awesome. Um, Robert
Flew by.
saying hi to OBP. Ricardo saying hi to Grito. Saying hi to Juan, to Yukon Phil. OBP saying hi to everybody. Kill saying hi to Grito and Speedo. And Juan saying, I remember Maul in the trailer for episode 1. Oh man, that, the internet did exist technically, but if that would be translated today, that would break the internet for sure. That was
Mm.
nuts. OBP says, hope to see you on Instagram when you get that resin printer. I'd love to have that Ahsoka diorama. Although I'd add Captain Rex to it also. Yeah, man. Hey, it would be your diorama, man. You can do whatever you want for it.
Yep. I'm
But
working. I'm working really hard on trying to get
yeah,
one.
that's awesome,
You know,
man. So
everything costs so much money nowadays.
yeah, no kidding. No freaking kidding. OBP says Captain Rex standing with Ahsoka. I mean, yeah, we got it. We got it.
Perfect.
Um, so yeah, guys, once again, before we leave, please go follow Millennium Workshop here on Instagram. The link is in the chat. Check out his YouTube, where he posts a lot of the process, a lot of the stuff he does. As you saw, gorgeous work. Um, really nice pictures, man. I gotta say, also, which just elevates, your work. If you guys are thinking about maybe a project that you would like to see done, if you're interested in a helmet or anything that you see on his social media, definitely reach out to him. Again, I'm assuming probably Instagram is the easiest way for
Yeah, it's
through
the
message.
easiest. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely, guys, send him a DM. If you want to inquire about something, whether it be price or can he do something special for you or a different paint scheme, anything like that, guys. Do not hesitate to reach out to Rex. He's always willing to help. So thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for kickstarting this, guest spot again. Um, thank you for one, just for being awesome and sharing this awesome content, that you create with us, and thank you for being a good part of the community, right? Some of the stuff that you create is just amazing, and I'm so glad that it exists out there.
I appreciate it,
So
man. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me on. It's I think this is like my fourth or fifth live stream. So
there you go. Hey, many
and
more to come, I'm sure, dude. Like, the work that you do is amazing. So, I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot more of you in the near future. So yeah, once again, definitely go check out Millennium Workshop again, YouTube, Instagram, um, TikTok,
yep.
and reach out to Rex once again if you have questions regarding how to order something, or just questions about can he maybe do something more custom, all of that stuff, guys. Reach out. Definitely, Rex will be
Yeah,
more than happy.
if anyone's interested in like an NFL themed like Mandalorian helmet,
Oh,
or I've been kind of wanting to do something like that too. So if
there you
anyone's,
go.
because I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, so it's one of those like I've been thinking about making a Packers one myself. So
Nice. Very cool. Well, it's always awesome, man, where you can think it and actually do it, because yeah, that's what sets you apart. So uh good job on making the leap and actually creating some of this stuff. Like I said, a lot of people like myself, right? just never really had that how do you call it, that maybe forward thinking or that confidence, to even try something like that. So I'm glad
Well,
you
so,
did.
some of it, you just have to be, very cheap. Like, oh man, I don't want to pay that. Well,
yeah.
let me buy the
Oh, I
five
hear
hundred
you.
dollar printer and make it myself.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, some of those helmets that are 800 or a grand, and you're like, hey man, that's a printer and plenty of material for a while. So
Yep.
yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. But hey, it worked out awesome for you, and I'm glad to see some of your creations, like I said, are just amazing. So thank you for sharing them with us, guys. Once again, if you have any comments, any questions, reach out to Rex on Instagram. If you have any questions about some of his products, of about once again about creating something custom, definitely talk to the man. All right. So on my behalf, thank you so much for being here on another episode of The High Ground. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more of a guest spots like we had been doing, earlier in the year. We are leading up to Ahsoka. Ahsoka starts this month in exactly 3 weeks. So it's gonna be on a Wednesday. We're gonna get 2 episodes right away. So be on the lookout for that. We're gonna be ramping up, the content for that. Absolutely. Um, Also, once again, guys, I hope to drop the room tour soon. I would like to say this week, but I make no promises because I am running around with the new bunker. So thank you once again to everybody that joined here on the fine Wednesday night. I hope that you have an awesome rest of your week. And if not, hey, the weekend is just around the corner. So you guys hang on tight. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Rex once again for being our awesome guest tonight. And I'll catch you on the next one.
Have a great night, guys.